One of the most unique things about Latter-day Saints, especially from the very beginning, was the call to gather saints together, meaning from the very start, Joseph Smith wanted the saints together in one body. We gather all the saints in Kirtland, Ohio. We gather the saints in Independence, Jackson County, Missouri. We're then going to gather in Far West, Missouri. We're then going to gather in Nauvoo, Illinois. We're then going to head west and gather into the Salt Lake Valley. The gathering was a huge part of the early church. And what you're going to see in section 37 is the first call to gather in this dispensation. Well, once again, it comes about because of the mission to the Lamanites. When Oliver Cowdery, with his companion brother Whitmer, Ziba Peterson, and Parley P. Pratt, went on a mission, leaving from New York, and they travel all the way in this route, and they're coming over here to Indian Territory. Now, this mission doesn't have as much success with the Indians as they had thought, but it has huge success and implications on the church, because as we've talked about in some of the other class videos, pre-class videos, on their way as they pass through Hiram and Kirtland, Ohio, they're going to baptize a large group of people here. These missionaries are everybody who resides on the Morley farm. That happens in the fall of 1830. Well, now it's December of 1830, and there's almost 300 converts. They're living roughly around the Morley farm there in Hiram and Kirtland, Ohio. We put this in context. We now have more members of the church living in Ohio than we do in the New York area where the church started. So here, take over here and take a look at this map here. The Morley farm, where they've baptized roughly these 300 people now, is right here in the Kirtland and Hiram area. But the majority of the church is still up here in this area. What you're going to see in section 37 is the first call to gather. And what the Lord's going to do is he's going to say, all right, let's take this group from Palmyra and Fayette and Colesville and Harmony, where the core of the church is and where it began, and let's have them travel roughly 250 miles and gather and leave the New York area and gather over here to Kirtland and Hiram, Ohio, where the church is growing so strong. You'll see that call to gather right here in verse 3, where the Lord tells Joseph Smith in this section to go to Ohio, but then notice what he says. He gives a commandment unto the church. And I would highlight this line, that they assemble together at the Ohio against the time that my servant Oliver Cowdery should return unto them. Oliver, who's on the mission of the Lamanites. That right there, verse 3, is our first call to gather in this dispensation. That is the context of section 37 and what brings it about in this monumentally important section, small section, but it's going to change the landscape and history of our church as we know it.